From what I've seen in the Skyblock community, the majority of the player base is stuck in between the early and the mid-game stages. I'm willing to bet that the vast majority of you are in an early set of dragon armor. The best money-making method you have is probably farms that you made months ago, or alternatively, one-tapping zealots. These two methods, at most, will only ever pool 2 to 3 million coins per hour. It's a simple fact that in this economy, 2 to 3 mil per hour is not enough, especially when the Ender update is currently killing summoning eye prices. So then this brings the question, where do I go? A lot of players will recommend that you head into dungeons, but a lot of the gear for dungeons is incredibly expensive, which kinda is the point of this video, to make money. Not to, spend money that you don't have. Undoubtedly, mining is the best money-making method in Hypixel Skyblock, but a lot of people only focus on the late game potential, completely skipping over the early and mid-game phase. There's plenty of videos out there going over hypermax setups with maxed out gear getting you 40 million coins per hour. However, you're seeing that, right? 700 hours? I do not have 700 hours. In just under a week, I went from 800k per hour to about 6 million per hour in gemstone mining. And this is the step-to-step guide on how to do it as well. These are the basic requirements that you're gonna need. Heart of the Mountain 4 and 1500 mining speed. If you're brand new to mining, it's pretty quick in the beginning. All you have to do is do your daily commissions for the bonus XP and make sure to get a little bit of powder. The best gear set you can have at the time is the current pickaxe for your Heart of the Mountain, glaciite armor, and the only upgrade that matters on the tree right now is the mining speed. You might be wondering why I'm focusing so much on mining speed, and that's because you need exactly 1500 to one-tap hardstone, and mining is very, very slow without that. Additionally, you can throw on some amber gemstones onto your glaciite armor to get that slight extra boost in mining speed. Keep this in mind because we're going to be using these gemstones a lot in the future. Once you hit Hardstone Collection 5 and upgrade to the Yogg armor, you're finally ready for the first big grind. A mission grinding in the Crystal Hollows. Buy your pass and pause. Before you even step foot into the Crystal Hollows, you should download a mod that gives you a map. The map should look like this. Most major mod packs have this, including Skytills, and I'm pretty sure Badlion Client has one built in. I personally use Skyblock extras. Some clients like Lunar Client just won't let you add your own mods, so I guess it's time to change clients. I personally use Minecraft Forge. It gives you the most freedom. I recommend it. So now let's break down what this map means exactly. If you already have a decent understanding of the Crystal Hollows, you can skip to this time right here. The Crystal Nucleus is made up of 6 core areas. The Nucleus being where you can claim your commissions, the Mithril Deposits being home to Jade and Team Treasurite members. Precursor City is home of Sapphire and Automatons. The Goblin Holdout being home of Amber and Goblins. The Jungle being home of Amethyst, Sludge, and Thysts, a mob that spawns only when breaking gemstones. More specifically, Amethyst in the jungle. And finally, the Magma Fields, a tunnel system under the caves. It's anywhere below Y65. It is the home to Topaz and Yoggs. Now that you have a basic understanding of the Crystal Hollows, it's time to head down and get to work. Starting out, you only have access to 2 commissions at a time. One is always task-based, and the other one is objective-based. The task-based commissions are always going to be the faster one to complete. It'll always be to kill a certain mob or mine a certain gemstone. I also forgot to mention that rubies spawn everywhere in the Crystal Hollows. It is the most abundant, and it is in every region. This is an example of one of the objective-based commissions. Getting the jade crystal takes a very long time, and I'm just not going to go over on how to do it. Get these commissions done as quick as possible. You're going to want Yogg armor to be immune to the heat from the magma fields, an aspect of the void to teleport around, and a pick a nimbus to mine all the gemstones. It's a very cheap setup. The only difficult commission that you can get at this point is the topaz gemstone one, and it's because your mining tool isn't strong enough to break the topaz. So the only way to beat it is by opening treasure chests by breaking hardstone or killing Yoggs. However, on the off chance that you do have money and you buy a gemstone drill, you can ignore this completely and just mine the topaz normally. I know 5 mil is a bit much, but you could always sell it after you're done with the Heart of the Mountain grind. I genuinely say that it's worth it. Now with that all being said, it's time to make it to Heart of the Mountain level 6. The grind really isn't that terrible. It took me about 1.5 days. You could very reasonably get it done in about 2. We already done. Now you might be saying, Heart of the Mountain 6, what about tier 7? Well, this is a mid-game guide. Heart of the Mountain 7 I'd consider late game. If you want to do late game mining, absolutely push it to Heart of the Mountain tier 7. However, now it's time to move to our next grind. We're gonna head to the jungle and start powder grinding. The gear you need is very simple. We're gonna make one pickaxe switch to the jungle pickaxe. And I recommend getting compact because you're going to be mining a lot and you're going to get a lot of free money from this enchanted hardstone. Also, with our new Heart of the Mountain tier 6, we've unlocked a lot of new perks that are going to make this very nice and very quick. For powder grinding, you want to focus these 3 buffs the most: mining speed, mole, and great adventurer. Mining speed is only really worth it until 1500, otherwise it's not really that big of a deal. Mole, you want to get as high as humanly possible to mine as much as possible, and the Great Explorer, just get it to around the 15 range. Now while you're mining in the jungle and using the jungle pickaxe, you will start getting sludge juice, and with the mole and the Great Adventurer, you're going to be finding a lot more treasure chests than usual. Sludge juice sells for a very modest amount of coins. In the beginning, you should be making about 2.5 mil per hour off of this, but once you level up mole, you'll get anywhere close to probably 3.5 million per hour. Other than that, there's not very much of an explanation needed for powder grinding. All you have to do is mine the hardstone, open the chests, and then just sell the sludge. The grind is very mindless, and to get a decent setup, I recommend anywhere from 10 to 15 hours of doing this. It sounds like a long time, but once you turn on music, it's really not that terrible. For the best outcome, I recommend you get about 1.4 million of each powder and about 45 to 50 million coins. If it makes you feel any better during this grind, at least you're making more than your old money making method at this point. If you're at this point, I'm going to assume that you've completed your powder grind. This is going to be the new Heart of the Mountain tree that you're going to want. Basically, what you want to do is focus all of the perks that give you mining speed and fortune. The numbers on screen show you what levels I have on my tree, but obviously the higher you go, the better the results you'll get. Plus, the great thing about sludge mining is the entire time that you spent grinding powder, you actually just paid for your mining setup. You now have the 3rd best mining tool in the game, and now it's time to get the pet. I chose the legendary ball pet because it's the best for ruby mining, and that's what we're focusing on. I already had a purple ball pet, and I just decided to upgrade it because it was more cost efficient for myself. However, I still counted it as minus 11 million from the budget. And then we made one last big purchase, being Pristine 5. I also recommend slapping some gemstones on your gauntlet. You're not going to have a ton of money at this point, so a bunch of fine gemstones will do okay. Now it's time to add gemstones to your Yogg armor. Jade, Topaz, and Amber. Now that we've made it this far, I think it's time to break down how exactly mining gemstone works. The 3 factors to your profit per hour is Pristine, Fortune, and mining speed. Pristine is by far the greatest, giving you the chance to drop the next tier gemstone. Fortune then calculates how much of that upgraded gemstone you drop, and then mining speed affects how much gemstone you can actually break per hour. So from now on, you're gonna always want to focus these things in this order: Pristine, then Fortune, then mining speed. Oh, but how often will Pristine proc? Well, with a late game mining setup, it's pretty often. Now with this current setup, mining rubies, I did a 15-minute test and I was making anywhere from 3.8 to 4 million coins per hour. Now you might be wondering where I'm pulling that number from. Each ruby sells for 3 coins to any NPC in the game. So not only is the money consistently high, but it'll also never fall off because the NPC prices never change, so the economy will never change how much you're making from rubies. What's also great is I'd consider this the ground floor. The only place that you can go is up. With your first few hours of ruby gemstone mining done, the first upgrade I recommend is getting all flawless gemstones on your gauntlet, giving it a huge stat boost. I then also recommend that you do this with your armor as well, getting your Yogg armor to full flawless gemstones. Just keep in mind that gemstones are reusable, and once you remove them, you can put it on a different armor set, and that's what we're going to do with Sorrow armor. Your armor progression should look a little something like this. Just go slow, mine your rubies, and slowly upgrade one piece at a time, from cheapest to most expensive, which is boots, helmet, pants, and then chestplate. Please keep in mind that Yogg armor is better until you unlock the universal slot on the Sorrow armor. Otherwise, you can't put Pristine on your Sorrow armor, and you're actually getting less money if you upgrade too quick. And then finally, the last upgrade for this video is we're going to get Jaded on our Sorrow armor. With my current setup, current gemstones, and current mining tool, I'm making just over 6 million per hour. So far in this video, I haven't mentioned where exactly I'm mining my rubies at, and that's because there is no set destination. Pretty much the only requirement that you have is to be in the magma field so that you get the buff from the ball pet, and then just go ahead and clear a giant crater. You should find enough topaz and rubies in most spots to just start mining like crazy. I hate that I have to say this, but don't be that guy. If you already found somebody else ruby mining in one spot, don't steal his gemstones, just go somewhere else. Also, I know, the thumbnail does look a little clickbaity with the 12 million coins per hour, but it was not lying technically. There are 3 mayors in Skyblock that have the Mining Fiesta perk: Cole, Foxy, and Mayor Jerry. It happens quite often actually, and it doubles mining profits for an hour at a time. And that's about it for this video. I spent a very, very long time gathering information and a lot of trial and error, so a like would be very appreciated. In the future, I'll do a video on late game mining, which will earn probably around 15 million coins per hour. I feel like that's quite reasonable.